It arrived in a plain brown envelope, no return address, just my name. Inside, a small brass key and a single note. Weaver's Lane. Above the old apothecary. She left it to you. I didn't know I didn't know I had anyone left. But that night, I dreamt of seams. Not fabric, skin. Pulled tight, stitched shut. And a voice whispering. Cloth forgets. Skin remembers. Weaver's Lane was a street that shouldn't exist anymore. The cobblestones looked like old teeth. The key fit a door above a long-dead apothecary. When I opened it, the smell hit me, like wet leather, perfume, and something faintly metallic. There were 3 dress forms under dusty sheets, a rusted sewing machine, and piles of folded cloth that looked wrong. Too pale. Too smooth. On the wall, scrawled in pencil 100 times over. Agnes fell. That night, as I dozed off in a chair, I heard it. A sewing needle, working in the dark. In the morning, I found an old book open on the work table. A ledger. Each page listed names, dates, measurements, notes, all written in the same trembling hand. Beside each name, a small drawn eye. Most were women. Some were children. And at the very end, the last page was blank. Except for a single line, faintly visible beneath the paper fibers. My name. And beside it, the word bodice. It was wrapped neatly in yellowed paper, tied with old string. A glove. Smooth. Seamless. Too perfect. It looked alive. When I slipped it on, it fit as if it had been waiting for me. For a second, it was warm. Then I heard it again, the faint prick, pull. Only now, it was coming from inside the glove. I ripped it off and threw it into the corner, but it kept its shape. Like a hand still wearing it. An old woman from across the lane came that afternoon. Her hair was white, thin as cobweb. You opened the shop, she said flatly. You shouldn't have. Why? I asked. She looked past me, toward the attic stairs. Because she's still working. The machine never stopped. We hear it every winter. Before I could answer, the sewing machine started by itself, the wheel spinning, the needle stabbing into empty cloth. The woman whispered, "Turn it off. Or it will start taking measurements again." But the needle didn't stop. It sped up. Prick, 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 prick. The thread snaked through the air, and wrapped around my wrist. When I pulled free, there was a thin, perfect red line across my skin. Like a new seam. That night, I climbed the stairs to the attic. The door groaned open and the smell of rot poured out, heavy and sweet. There were dresses hanging from the rafters. Hundreds of them. Some were still beautiful, lace, silk, pearl buttons. But others had faces sewn into them. Mouths stitched shut. Eyes replaced with buttons. One dress twitched, just slightly, when my flashlight passed over it. Pinned to the wall was a photograph of Agnes Fell. Her hands gloved. Her eyes calm. And in the bottom corner, a handwritten note. Perfection requires sacrifice. The next day, I tried to burn the ledger. The paper wouldn't catch. The smoke it gave off smelled like burned hair. Then the sewing machine came to life again. No power. No hand. The treadle moved on its own. The needle drove through empty air, faster, faster, until the thread snapped and the machine screamed like metal giving birth. The door slammed behind me. I could feel something moving in the shadows. Like cloth dragging over the floor. When I turned, the glove was gone from where I'd thrown it. And the mannequins were closer. I ran, but something heavy brushed my shoulder. A curtain of fabric. When I looked down, it wasn't fabric. It was a sleeve. Attached to nothing. It slid up my arm, fast as breath. The buttons locked around my wrist. I clawed at it, but the seam sealed itself. Then a voice behind me, calm, polite, like a tailor. "Be still. You'll ruin the stitch." I turned, and there she was. Agnes fell. Or what was left of her. Her face looked tanned, like parchment. Her eyes were black pins. And her mouth was sewn into a soft smile. "You're my last commission," she whispered. "The one who fits perfectly." The dresses came alive. Thread snaking across the floor. Buttons snapping like teeth. They climbed the walls, crawling toward me. Each one whispered, not with voices, but with breath. I could hear hearts inside them. Still beating. The air filled with the sound of sewing, thousands of needles. I tried to run, but the door melted into cloth. A seam opened across the floor, and something inside started to rise. It was a gown, enormous, breathing. Faces pressed beneath the fabric like things buried too shallow. It reached for me with an empty sleeve, and I knew what it wanted. I woke up in my own bed. Or thought I did. The window was open. The wind cold. And on the chair beside me, folded neatly, was a dress. My size. The tag pinned to the collar read, "Custom fit, Agnes fell." I looked at my arm. The glove was back. And when I pulled it off, my own skin came with it, like fabric unstitching from itself. The sound that followed wasn't screaming. It was sewing. Prick, pull, prick, pull. Fade to black. Whisper. Cloth forgets. Skin remembers.